Hello, welcome to another episode of Drinking with
With
Comics.
comics.
I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
And Mike, once again, you're shrouded in darkness.
Yeah, the
I
sun.
like this.
If you haven't heard, the sun is setting faster now because the Earth is spinning faster.
I have not heard that. It sounds like a bunch of liberal malarkey to me. Same old sun, same old planet that's been there since 1944. So,
No, it's so the Earth's spinning faster, which means days will go by faster. But because our lifespan's the same, we'll live longer because the days are shorter. And then that way, like certain people could be like, "See, look, when I was president, you lived longer."
you just wait. You
Or
just
maybe,
totally blew my
or
mind.
Or, which I thought of while I just said that, maybe maybe the Earth is just trying to get us past these next 4 years as fast as fucking possible.
Could be. Could be. Very well. Uh, Not flashing you my tits. I'm just letting everybody know I'm super excited that we finally got a new Deftones track. Jesus, I feel like I've been waiting for fucking
I saw that. I
yeah.
haven't
So
listened to it, but
I mean,
I'm
I listened to it
wearing.
twice, but A, I was inebriated, and B, without a full, they're an album band, so like I can hear a song. It doesn't mean anything till I hear the whole tapestry of the record. So I listened to it twice. I'm good. I'm not going to listen to it again until I sit down on August 22nd and fucking listen to the whole thing, start to finish. So very excited.
Deep dive.
Um, so today we're going to be drinking. So I was in, I I was in Dayton, Ohio recently, and some friends recommended Toxic Brew Company to me. It's in the Oregon district, pretty much right across from the. I don't know what it is now. It used to be the Night Owl, where I played my one of my old bands played the first time I played Dayton. Love Dayton, Ohio, huge fan, and this. This is
Oh
called
boy.
Tartknocker, which is a nice play on the old Beavis and Butthead fart knocker, right? So
Yes.
this is a strawberry lemonade sour ale, 4.5% alcohol by volume, 16 full ounces, like it should be. Art by Jessica Poole, Rebel Rebel Tattoo. And yeah, this Toxic Brew Company. I literally just bounced in there one night while we were there, grabbed two 4 packs of beers to go. Or maybe it was, yeah, I gave you two and I kept, yeah, that's it. So I haven't tasted this yet.
Okay.
Um, so let's get down to business.
I feel like we should like watch a music video while doing this.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we? Maybe
Just
that new
like
Deftones
critique
track.
it. Yeah. Ooh, it's pouring nicely. No one can see
So,
it because it fell off camera. Here we go.
Mike, tell
Ooh.
me what tell the audience what you told me right before we started about your how you went from being excited to somewhat
So,
sad.
well, you messaged me like Beavis and Butthead. And I was like, what is he talking about? And then so like, and I had to reread the message. He said Beavis and Butthead beer, and I was like, okay. So I went to go look at it. I was like, oh, there's a Beavis and Butthead beer, except it's like strawberry lemon. I was like, oh, okay, strawberry lemonade. I like that. Didn't read that as a sour for some dumb reason. I thought it was a Kolsch because there's a really good strawberry lemonade Kolsch out there in the world from
Which we talked about last episode, and
yes.
I did find out the name of it. I put it in the last episode. I'll put it in again here from
Oh, okay.
Hailstorm.
Hailstorm, yeah. And I was like, ooh, I was all excited all day. And then, yeah, when I pulled it out of the fridge and saw it was a sour, I was like, one might say I might have been sour about it. But
It's
let's
a
see
pretty
here.
it's a
Did you
mild
taste it?
sour.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh, it
So
does have that sour aftertaste, but it does like, it isn't bad. I don't hate it.
I feel like there was a period, I don't remember when this was. I'm just going to guess 2015. Okay,
Yeah.
where living in LA in the South Bay, there were a lot of breweries doing sours. And in fact, one of my favorites, Phantom Carriage, specialized in sours. And sours had kind of come up. There was one, I forget the company, I want to say it was called Two Doors, was the name of the beer. So my understanding is sours are some like share some DNA with, I believe it's French farmhouse ales. And
I,
when I
I think I
first
heard
started
that
having
too.
sours, it was before the big explosion. I was like, oh, these aren't bad. Again, if you watch the show, like Mike, I generally like strawberry lemonade is not something I want for a beer, but I saw this. I was kind of in a hurry and they had limited to go 4 packs. And I saw strawberry lemonade. I'm like, I'm going to share this with Mike anyway. This might be perfect. So I grabbed it, not realizing exactly what it was. But point being, there was a point where just like IPAs became overly hoppy because there were so many on the market that breweries had to over hop them in order to kind of try to
Hmm.
find like stake some claim of originality, like mine tastes
Yeah.
worse than the rest. It's more bitter. I feel like the same thing happened with sours for a while, where like when I was first introduced to them before there was an explosion, I was like, oh, these are kind of nice. And then at some point I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? Like, oh, um, this is the former. This is very gentle.
Yeah, it's I like it a lot. It's I don't know if I'd get it again, but I don't hate it.
Yeah,
Um,
same. I wouldn't get it again.
no, but I will enjoy this till it's to the very end, and it helps having some water next by to kind of wash the sour away.
Wash the sour away. I don't
I
know.
don't
It's
get
it's
sour.
a
It's to me, it's more like bile. Like it tastes like, yeah, I know. I get that. Like that's what bile.
mm.
Someday I was eating fruit punch, eating fruit all day, and had to throw up, and like this is the flavor I had.
Oh,
So,
damn.
oh yeah,
I was gonna say, did you get like a sweet tart lodge in your throat and it's been there for like 40 years?
maybe I have no idea. But yeah, that's this is delightful though.
Toxic Brew
Yeah,
Company,
yeah,
Dayton, Ohio. Gentle, like
yes.
my first camp counselor. Mike, you saw Superman, Day of the Dog, right? Is that that's the subtitle, right? Superman, Day of the Dog.
No, but it
Oh,
could be.
how was it?
I loved it. It's it is really good. I'm not going to go into any spoilers because I think you should go see it. It's been a weird weekend because I've been, I had to work all weekend this weekend. And one of the things I noticed was I have seen more Superman shirts the last 3 days than I have in the last 20 years,
Wow.
which is kind of cool. Um, yeah, people are excited. And I also noticed a lot of those shirts came in waves. Like when the movie theater let out, people were coming in. So, I mean, I haven't seen that with a Marvel movie in a long ass time. No one's
Hmm.
come in waves for Daredevil or Iron Man in a long ass time, or even the
Nobody came in with a
Avengers.
Thunderbolt shirt.
No one came in with a Thunderbolt shirt. No one
Hard
came
to
in with a,
imagine.
yeah, Captain America versus Red Hulk. No one came in dressed painted in red. But yeah, I think people are very excited, and they should be. It's uh, I, the best comment I could think about is like finally someone made a Superman movie, and it's that's what it is. It feels like a comic book movie, and it occurred to me that we're at that age where um us growing up, our comic book movies were very limited
Yeah.
compared to before the Marvel explosion. But you'd watch like the Superman movies, and they were good, but they weren't comic book movies because they're based in reality.
Hmm.
Where and it's hard to quantify like what makes a comic book movie other than just overall feel of like picking up a comic book. Here's characters you don't know, the strange and fantastical going on even in the background, which is cool. And the people kind of just are like okay with it, sort of. It's not weird to the people of Metropolis that there's a guy flying around. It's just normal because it's the world they live in.
This movie eschews an origin, right? So it just begins and we're led to like it's just he's been there, they know, right? We don't need any like establishing.
So the neat thing is they do a little crawler, like a Star Wars-esque crawler at the beginning to kind of set up the universe. And it starts off with the first meta-human showed up 300 years ago. Superman's 30 years ago, Superman landed on a planet. I think there's like a 333 thing. And then 3 years ago, Superman started. being Superman, and that's the setup. But the interesting thing is he's not the first. There's 300 years of superhumans on this planet. So, and they had to have known they were there because they're superhuman. So that means, to me, that means the Justice Society was around in the 50s,
Yeah, okay.
or, um, Green Lanterns have been around maybe, or who knows what happened 300 years ago. Or I can't remember. I thought it was 3,000 years ago, but someone corrected me and said it was 300. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm right on that because I forgot. But even like 3,000 years ago, is that like Jesus Christ is like the first metahuman? Like what is the setup in this universe other
Well,
than,
there have been
there's,
3,000 years since Jesus, so that doesn't. So you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
that's true.
so that makes sense. It makes sense
Yeah.
that if Jesus is the first metahuman in their universe, it would. Well, 300 wouldn't be enough, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So it's set up, those few lines set up a lot of history, which I thought was neat. Without spoiling anything, it's just and obviously because we know Peacemaker is a part of it. We know Suicide Squad's mostly like part of it. There's Creature Commandos. There's Frankenstein's been running around for how many years? Um, oh, maybe he's the 300-year-old monster
Could be.
that's been, yeah,
That would
um,
maybe line up.
yeah, or vampires. Who knows what they're referring to? But I mean, they're there, and it just feels like you're in a bigger universe where, like, picking up a, a comic book and characters show up and you don't explain who they are because they don't need to explain who they are. You just have to do the research and go buy that character's comic. Um, it just had that vibe to it, and I loved it. Like, I didn't need, there was enough. I think Superman's origin is like American folklore to me,
Yeah, it
anyways.
is.
Like,
It is.
we all know he came crashing from another planet. We all know all of it. Kryptonite, Bizarro, these are words that are, used in everyday language.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not out of the ordinary that, you have to explain these things to people because they're there. So they don't bother. And I like that. There's no need for it. Or Metamorpho shows up. Who the hell's Metamorpho? Like, if you don't know, you don't know. That's too bad. Go figure it out yourself. Which I'm kind of happy it's like takes that attitude to you because we don't have
Yeah.
time to explain Metamorpho. We're just, here's Metamorpho. He's doing his Metamorpho thing. Yay.
It's interesting to see. That's a lot of creative freedom that they're
Yes.
that Discovery or whoever you want to say is pulling the strings, right? If Discovery's the ultimate company, but
We're just going to say James Gunn has a lot of power or reigns in the
yeah, and
storytelling. And I feel like someone at Warner Brothers or Discovery was like, this guy knows what he's doing. Just let him make us money.
which
And that's
is
smart.
it's smart, but also it's like unheard of. Like especially
Yes.
in that company, they just don't. They've never trusted the veracity of their creation. So I I I I think that bodes very well.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah. It's an exciting future for DC, and it doesn't feel like it's a Marvel copy, which we're all kind of afraid of that would be. Um, because it's in the middle of a universe, it's not setting up stuff. Everyone has an origin. Like, it's good, and I have hope for the future. Like,
Good.
there's a little thing in it that kind of teases something in the future, and it got me really excited for it. Nothing too big, which I like. There's no like post credit scene where, like, Darkseid shows up and pulls out a gauntlet or some dumb, not dumb shit, because that was fun shit when it was like 10 years ago. I just don't need it again. I just need
Well,
to
that's the
know.
thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing, and I feel like it bodes well for DC because yeah, and like they shouldn't. They did that already. They tried to do that already with imitating Marvel, and it's like just don't do that. Like you have your own strengths, play into that, you know. And it sounds like they're letting Gunn do that. So I think the right
Yeah.
person's in charge.
He's
Um,
making a DC comic movie. that feels like a DC comic. And because Marvel, there's that two difference between the basic core of the comic. Like Marvel's kind of based in the real world, DC's based in this imaginary world. It feels like it's based in the imaginary world
Okay.
where it's not grounded in our world so much. And excellent casting, excellent performances from everybody. Um, Special effects look great. It shows that James Gunn wrote the story and liked the story. No one had to change it at the last minute. There's nothing feels like something had to be shoehorned in there. It was just a Superman story in the middle of the day in the life of Superman. Like picking up, like they picked up issue 35 because it was written by someone, and you read that because you like that artist or writer.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, I highly recommend it. It was fun. It was a fun movie to finally. It was fun to see a Superman movie finally that wasn't trying to be based in reality, wasn't trying to be dark.
Ugh.
Um, you know, he doesn't save a cat from a tree, but it doesn't run away from him saving a cat from a tree.
Right.
It doesn't run away from him wearing the underwear on the outside joke, like all those things that people wanted, like that, before the Man of Steel came out, I might have said this before, but I remember distinctly before Man of Steel came out, everyone was like, I don't want him to be this wuss. I don't want him to save cats from tree. And then they did that. And it's like, I don't want that. This isn't Superman. This is what I want. And this is what you want, a Superman story. It embraces what makes him fun. And yeah, Lois is great too. Yeah, Guy Gardner was chef's kiss.
Well, I'm very glad because I'm not. I mean, I'm not going to see it. Just because Superman is just not my jam at all. He's my kind of my kryptonite. But what I wanted for this was James Gunn to be successful, for DC to finally like plant their feet and believe in themselves.
Yeah,
And for you and like our buddy Chris, who you both like, that you both text me you liked it, I wanted you guys that were looking forward to this movie to get what you wanted. I want
yeah,
Superman fans to walk out of the theater and be like, "That was fucking great," you know.
yeah.
So I'm happy. I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
I will. I'm debating on going to see Fantastic Four next week,
Next week or week after?
or whenever
20
it is.
something, yeah.
It's next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, it's next week. It's and I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
I was talking to someone over the weekend how they was like saying, "Yeah, I don't want to go see it," and I was like, "I do, and I don't even like the Fantastic Four because it's based in the 50s or 60s. Because there's a guy in purple stomping around through the city trying to eat the planet. Just to see that in live action. I'm only going to the theater to see it because I want to see a giant Galactus on a giant screen.
Well, that goes without
Yeah,
saying. I mean,
yeah,
I never read the Fantastic Four back in the
no,
day, but I always I'm a victim of the Marvel hype machine, I guess. But as a kid in the '80s, it was maybe it was just my perception of it, but I feel like that team was revered. Marvel's first family and all the world's greatest comic magazine, and like I believe that. So I really only read it a handful of times. One of those times was when all the characters were removed and they replaced them with the Hulk, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine.
the only Fantastic Four books I ever bought.
But also like I had a few like whenever Hulk and Thing would fight, it would usually start in either Fantastic Four and carry to Hulk or vice versa. So I have a couple of those. I think I can't remember what issue that would be, but there were a couple random other ones, and I never really cared. But at the same time, like I still felt like no, this is special stuff. So I'm curious to see how they're doing it. I'm a little disappointed. I just feel like Pedro Pascal's in every fucking. It's like him and Jenny Ortega.
Yes.
I think both Jenny Ortega and Pedro Pascal are exceptional,
Mhm.
but they're in every other fucking movie that comes out, and I just need a goddamn break. So when I saw they announced him as Reed Richards, I was like, I know it's in good hands, but it was just ill time for my own personal, perceptions where I'm just like, so whatever, whatever. I mean, I will probably go see it, so maybe we can talk about it next week when we both see it.
Circle back to Superman. The other thing I liked about it was it wasn't. I hate saying this, but it wasn't woke in the aspect that like it
No,
was.
that's good. You shouldn't hate saying that.
Yeah,
Don't hate
but it
saying that.
wasn't in a way like everyone be like, "Oh, Jimmy Olsen's not black," you know? Like, okay, like there was no political. I think that's why everyone likes it too. It's straight up from the comics, you know. And Jimmy Olsen was great in it. Like, he was a lot of fun. Looked just like Jimmy Olsen.
There's a difference between like approaching things with a certain care or prescience and being woke, which to me, I don't
Mhm.
like woke because woke is putting a badge on your chest that says, look how sensitive I am to other people's needs. It's like, just, it's like Marvel had North Star from Alpha Flight came out as gay in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
Big deal. And there were
yeah,
multiple other like instances of that along the way. Like
yeah.
10 years ago, all of a sudden DC started being like, oh, well, then this one's a lesbian and this one is this. And it's like, it was so transparently just because felt like they needed to do it. It's like, just do it naturally, man. You don't have to, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be like that.
There's so it's like my argument with that is like I'm on the same boat. Like, don't shoehorn in, just make a character different, which
Yeah.
is fine. Um, I don't I am woke in the sense that I understand what woke means properly. That it's the
You
being aware.
understood it before the term.
Yes. It's the as far as like the original term woke, where you're aware that there's systemic racism going around
Yeah.
and there's assholes going around. I get that.
Yeah.
I
So
am
do I.
fully 100% get that. The what the certain people are saying what woke is not what I am for, you know, and I am not
Yeah.
on that boat either. And it drives me nuts because I'll get people come in and be like, "Oh, well, I mean, when did when did guy or one of my first time I ever noticed this was like, when did Green Lantern become black?"
Oh, John
And it's like
Stewart. What, the
John
fucking
Stewart,
80s?
like 20 years ago, like because
Longer.
you didn't know, yeah, because you didn't know he was black, and that was when the Justice League cartoon came out, or when like, well, I like Nick Fury when he was white, and it's like, yeah, but the whole point of Nick Fury was he was like the coolest guy around, and no one's cooler around now than Samuel L. Jackson. Plus, that's who they made in the Ultimate series. Nick Fury in the Ultimate Universe was Samuel
Yeah,
Jackson.
right,
So that
right.
was even like way before they even cast him as Nick Fury. So it wasn't even unheard of. It's not even unheard of. It's just that's I hate that thing. And I hate like when people go like I don't like Marvel now because it's woke. And I'm just like, "Oh, so the X-Men's not woke?" Like Black Panther isn't fucking woke. I can't think of anything more woke than a guy named after a fucking black movement. Yo, he might as well just be called BLM,
Yeah, right.
the man, BLM man. You know?
It's just like I remember. I think I've said this on here. I think I've said it to you before, but I remember
Yeah,
like a couple years ago when Pearl, the Ty West movie, that was the sequel to X, and it went X, Pearl, and then Maxine, and they're all Maya Goth is the lead in all of them, right? I remember when Pearl came out, like reading an article or a review or something, and the first comment, which don't ever read the comments, but I read the comments. It
yeah.
was like another, bunch of woke bullshit. It's like because the main character's female. Have you seen Alien, sir? Because that's from, or like any horror movie, like any slasher movie, the
Exactly.
fucking final girl. Like it, but people take this thin slice, but it's just stupidity.
It is
It's just
stupidity,
dumb.
but it's like anything that would have been everything that is considered woke now from their point of view. Um, and we know who they are. Um, from their point of view, is literally been around for years before
Yeah.
that. It hasn't changed. The thing you're mad about is shitty writing. It isn't, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they did to get fucking nerds into their fucking movement. And it's like, well, you didn't like the Superman. Let's say the Supergirl TV show. You didn't like the Supergirl TV show because it wasn't written that strongly, but you couldn't quite put you're too. I'm not going to say dumb, but you're not in clue enough to realize you're the type of. I feel like some of these people are the type of people that like um
It
sidetrack
take
here.
it takes
Um,
an amount of personal insight and also some critical
yes, but like
thinking.
there's people out there like I don't like. Let's say Nicholas Holt. And I'm going to use this because it's the only one that popped in my head right now because he's Lex Luthor. He did an awesome job of Lex Luthor. He was an asshole, kidnapped a dog, all sorts of just damn fucking asshole shit. And I could see someone, there's people out there that's like, oh, I don't like Nicholas Holt because he played Lex Luthor too well. And he's too good of an actor, but they don't think like that, like he's a good actor. They just don't like him because he did his fucking job
Right.
of being unlikable. And you can't quite, they don't quite see, like, they don't recognize it. Like, no, Nicholas Holt's a great actor because he made you hate him.
Yeah.
That's his fucking job, you know? Well, I don't like him because I hate him. And those are the same people that don't catch on, like, sometimes there's bad writing or bad editing or something like that. Not all of them, but some of them. And um, there's like a movement out there that just sits and goes, no, the reason why you didn't like that movie is because Jimmy Olsen's cast as a black person. And you're just like, oh, that's why I didn't like it. And because that person told me so. And that's the shit I hate. It's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not like Jimmy Olsen can be anyone as long as someone plays Jimmy Olsen well. Um, yeah, he should be a freckled redheaded kid because that's how he is in the comic book and kind of works as that thing. But if he's black, that's fine too. As
Yeah.
long as the person plays him well, I don't care. But they they catch on to that, and then as soon as they see that, they instantly turn off on the whole thing. It's just dumb. Luckily, this isn't working on this one though.
I just have to say, imagine all those people that get so worked up about this shit, if they had been reading The Punisher and what was it, like 91, when I forget who wrote it, but like when he became black. I said like 3 issues where like he had plastic surgery and they used it to like as a platform to relaunch Luke Cage at the time, which bombed. But
Yeah.
I have the issues. Like he literally comes out as a black man for like 3 issues, and it's totally
Oh,
like I don't know if you know how plastic surgery works, but I'm thinking that's not, I don't know. Actually, this is making me really want to read those because I don't remember. I remember as a kid being like, huh? Planet Death #1 came out, ladies and gentlemen. We covered the Zero issue a few weeks ago. Mike, you called it, man. The fucking cool paper's gone. It's super glossy, and honestly, the experience was cut in half for me. Like I'm gonna read it, but I was just like, oh no, oh okay, yeah, glossy paper, fine.
it
Um,
cracked me up because I kind of opened it up and I was like, oh, I was wrong.
no, you were right. You said it was probably get glossy paper, and I was like,
Yeah, but
no, they said they bought the whole stock
I
of,
said, I also said it would look better, and I was wrong.
yeah.
It looked all right, but it was like, and I think it kind of worked because it was like, you were, the fact that it's got a lot of the same artwork as the Zero one, but told like a different story told onto it.
Yeah,
That
so
was kind of neat. That's a different experience being glossy than it would be being gritty.
it's funny because Mike, ladies and gentlemen, Mike was explaining this to me before we rolled, and I didn't catch it. He's like, "Oh, is it from a different perspective?" I was like, "Wait, it is," because there's a lot of the Zero. Everything you see in the Zero issue, image-wise, is culled from this book, right? So it's a lot
Yes.
of verbatim. However, Mike, I think, like you said, the Zero issue is kind of the overview because you would see some of this imagery, but it wouldn't necessarily be in this order, and it wouldn't be like you see what you recognize reading #1, and there's other bits in between what you recognize. So they really
Yeah.
found a way to kind of greatest hits it. And in fact, it's really interesting that it was actually the Zero issue was on that paper, that newsprint, really, really good, nice newsprint. Because it's almost like they sent a transmission through space to get people to pay attention, and it's on that, and then now you're tuned in, and it's nice and glossy, and you're kind of there, you're experiencing it. I enjoyed it. Again, I miss the paper, I really do,
Yeah,
but I'm in. You know, what'd you think?
I liked it. I at first I was kind of let down because like I looked through, I didn't read it, but I looked through, I was like, this is the same artwork. What the hell? And so I thought it was literally just, picking with like a couple extra pages tacked on to the end. Because I've seen,
Yes.
especially free comic book day comics, do that where it's like, we're just going to print the first 10 and issue 10 pages, and then you buy the
Yeah.
book and you get the last 10 pages. And, I understand the reasoning behind that. Um, but yeah, I kind of thought it'd be more like that. But I thought, like, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is something completely different. Like you said, there's like pages are out of order a little bit. The guy waking up in this, the soldier is waking up from his point of view, where like the whole first one is like a narrative's point of view.
Yeah, it's like an omniscient
So
narrator. It's been a
yeah,
while since I read it. Maybe it's just the way that they thin sliced it. It comes off that way, and it's still the same text, and it just removes his perspective. But here, it's definitely him, right? Because like
yeah,
he's narrating. He's talking about seeing his wife and daughter again. He's,
yes, which definitely wasn't in the first one.
no,
It
definitely
was
not.
about, it was more about the war itself and the we're going to send all these soldiers in, and had a cold feeling to it, where this one's like, oh shit, this guy's got wife and kids, he's got to go through it, or this dude's not coping well with this. And I think the aliens was translated where they're not translated in this one. I could be wrong though. It has been a while since I read the when we did that episode. So
I don't think the aliens talk, but I could be wrong. I could 100%
yeah,
be wrong in the Zero issue. But, this is like classic 80s action beats.
yeah,
But and it still reminds me of that kind of. I still haven't pinpointed what exactly books from the 80s it reminds me of, but because it's something I didn't read, I was like peripherally aware of, or I don't know. And I definitely understand. I don't know if you or somebody else pointed out. I know nothing about Warhammer, other
yeah,
than a little bit I've picked up from people who talk to me about it because they know I like comic books and assume that there's a 1-for-1 ratio. And there's not. There's not. I don't have anything against it. It's just not my cup of tea. But I
yeah,
guess this probably. I have a feeling if you like Warhammer, you'll probably love this fucking book.
yeah. I agree. It is very what I assume Warhammer's like, anyways, because I don't know much about Warhammer either. Other than big tech suits and dudes
Yeah.
fighting dudes, yeah, religious beliefs, which, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, next issue is out in November. There's I guess, a whole new line of Bad Idea comics coming out. Matt
Yeah,
Kind,
they seem to
kind.
do like a slew at once and then stop for like a couple
Yeah.
months and yeah, do a slew.
This is the first one I've read. I haven't really been interested in reading any of the others up till now. Um, I don't know about this. Some of the art for there's Survive coming up. There's Matt.
Did you
I
read the
just said
backup story? I couldn't bother with it.
I did because I really like Mike Carey, but I didn't care for this. So there's one coming out called Cul-de-sac by Mike Carey and Jonathan Wayshak. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. Ordained by Robert Venditti. Which the image is just a priest with a bloody nose and his nickels and his knuckles up like he's boxing. So that's kind of
Kind of,
interesting. Gave me a
kind of some
Garth Ennis
preacher
vibe.
vibe. Yeah, it
Yeah,
did.
100%, 100%. Which, by the way, did you know Garth Ennis has a new book coming out with Becky Cloonan in like a week or two?
No, which
Called
one?
I think it's called War or The War, and
Hmm.
it looks like it's probably going to be depressing because I read a description the other night. It sounds like it's kind of like the same approach that the movie Civil War took, where it's just like, yeah, everything's fucked, so let's just extrapolate on what that's going to look like in couple
Yeah,
years or something. But I'm curious. Okay, continuing their fucking stranglehold on 2025. Oni Press, guys, girls. Everything I've read by Oni Press this year has been great, and I've read quite a bit. Uh,
nice.
I saw the solicitation for Benjamin last month. Issue 2 comes out. So we're recording this on Monday, July 14th. Issue 2 comes out Wednesday, July 16th.
Oh,
This is written by Ben H. Winters with art by Leo Max. The art really reminds me of David Lapham a lot, like crazy at times. Dude, this is basically Philip K. Dick in a nutshell. Science fiction, pulp science fiction writer from the 50s, I think started in the late 40s, into the 50s and 60s. One of the most fascinating people that's ever lived. I'll put up a comic strip right here that does like a little, I found online years and years and years ago when I was really into him, reading about him, had just some crazy ass ideas. And this is basically kind of appropriating his story. What'd you think of issue 1 of Benjamin, Mike?
I enjoyed it. I don't know much about Philip K. Dick, so I didn't get that vibe from it. I understand what you're saying though. But yeah, I enjoyed the guy just kind of randomly showing up and then was all like, well, you're holding this communicator. It's like a cell phone. And just like he just woke up in a hotel room, was it? And just like starts acting weird. And I was like, okay, where we go? Oh, so it's some sort of time traveling author, science fiction author, which was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It did feel like weird Vertigo stuff that I like.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
looking forward to the second issue. Yeah, it was fun. I
I,
can't, like I said, the art is amazing in it.
it's really good, and the really good storytelling between the artist and the writer. And the art lifts it when it has to. It does the heavy lifting when it has to, and then other times it's very they got a lot of ground to cover. Guy wakes up in a motel room. The proprietor's kicking him out, and he doesn't know how he got there. And then he befriends I don't know, one of the guys that works there, and he the guy's like, you look a lot like this science fiction writer my dad loved, and when he passed away, I got all his books, and Benjamin Karp, and then it turns out it is Benjamin Karp, and he's like, "Wait a minute! I wrote this. I wrote a book like this. We have to go through all my books and figure out which book it was." And they get to the end, and they figure out what book it is. And I won't say anything, but it like sets up. Well, okay, is this where this is going? But I think in Philip K. Dick had such a strange life because he wrote so much. So it's funny. In here, they have a page where, as this gentleman that befriends him is telling him about him, he shows him the Wikipedia page for Benjamin J. Karp. It says he wrote 144 novels and 21 short stories, won numerous prizes, blah, 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 like Hugo, Nebula. Philip K. Dick wrote 44 novels and 121 short stories. So I thought that was
Ah,
like, okay, we're playing with the faders a little bit here. Um, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep was the thing that really introduced him, I think, to the modern lexicon of fiction, which, is Blade Runner, right?
yeah.
Ridley Scott made a Blade Runner in whatever year that was, 80 some 84, 83. Um, but Minority Report, I mean, Total Recall, there's so many more. I'm just not, I'm blanking on what else there is. The Man in the High Castle was a show for a while. Most of these adaptations I've not seen, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. Just kind of knowing about Dick and his crazy fucking life. It took a lot of amphetamines to write, so he experienced some really odd things, and I liked his fiction, but it wasn't until I started reading about like chaos magic and shit, and like a lot of people that are into chaos magic, or at least 20 years ago, they would be referencing Philip K. Dick like this motherfucker knows. He knows
Okay.
shit. So Oni, goddamn, like this is your year. So just thank you for continually putting out amazing shit. So excited. Okay, so then should we do a Energon minute?
Yes. Hold on. Energy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Uh, that's nice. I like that a lot. Can't wait. I'm gonna just see what I can do with that. So I enjoyed the last Void Rivals and Transformers since we did it last. I don't know if I don't know. The only thing that was on my mind to talk about with this is, so tomorrow GI Joe 9 comes out. This is GI Joe 8. And I was
Okay.
so excited because it looked like Baroness was leaving GI Joe, and that's not what happened. So I was like, really? But be that as it may, two cool things happened in this book. Do you know what they are? I have a feeling you know
I
what they
did
are.
read 8, and I did enjoy it, and I think it was some great poetry, if I recall,
No, that wasn't it. No.
and some the budding friendship of CoverGirl and Baroness. Like,
No, no, neither.
no, those are not it.
Neither.
Okay,
I really like this shit with Clutch and Hound.
it is interesting. Yeah,
I think it works. It works good. It's got
yeah.
me like, I don't really care what, well, although the second thing comes out of the Baroness cover girl, uh, vacation, mission, whatever the fuck it is. And that, not a character I'm super fond of, but I thought it was pretty cool. They just introduced what is very obviously the new classified version of Raptor.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
It was cool. I enjoyed it.
I like that you get all these weird, not everyone's in Cobra yet vibe to it. Like, here's a guy dressed up as a bird that makes no fucking sense in the Cobra snake aspect of things. Now that you find out he's been doing this for a while on his own, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. It is very much the classified version, which makes
Metal
sense. They
Wings.
should do the classified shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I almost get the sense they would have called this GI Joe classified if they were like if it's not exactly a 1-for-1 ratio with what they're putting out in classified, so it's not exactly, but I do like that they are utilizing these versions of these characters, whereas like Hama's GI Joe has been continues to be what it is. It's its own thing, and I've
Mhm.
really been enjoying it since I was reintroduced to it when it moved to Image and Skybound. So that's cool. But yeah, just man, I don't know. I don't know what it is that bugs me so much about Baroness being on the Joes. I think maybe part of it is like I just assume that it's yeah, we know that there's going to be betrayal, so whatever. Maybe there
Yeah.
won't be. I don't know.
I don't know either. Like, it is kind of, I like it in the fact that it is different enough to be like, okay, this is something different. And I enjoy her overall bitchiness to everyone that's into Joe's. Like, it is kind of, she does add a level of assholeness to the whole thing that I kind of
Yes.
enjoy. Like the back and forth between her and Stalker. And like that one issue where they were talking in Russian, like she cursed in
Yeah.
Russian, he fucking cursed back at him. It was like
Yep.
brilliant.
Yeah, it was good. I
I
agree.
enjoy it. Yeah, it is. I get that it's not what we're used to because we all want we're shipping her and Destro because that's what we do. But yeah, I like that it's just different. So, and yeah, I'm all for seeing where this goes. So
Yeah, agreed.
yeah,
I also liked seeing Cobra Commander and Destro looking at Bruticus, footage of Bruticus and Devastator, fucking shit
yeah,
up.
it's starting to feel more like a cohesive world now after a
Yeah.
couple issues where before it was like, hey, didn't like Cybertron just crash land in the middle of the ocean? No one
You,
said anything, and they
you
did like a
brought that
couple.
up.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
so
right. You did
yeah,
bring that up.
yeah. And I think there was like they had that meeting on this deserted island, which is pretty much going to be like a probably a Decepticon base in the future or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're getting there. I am intrigued. I saw that there's a Dreadnought War coming up.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's just called Dreadnought War. It's like the next. There's a Quintesson. So I think next phase, like phase, because we're still phase two, technically year two. So next couple months we'll start year three. And I guess one of the panels at San Diego Con is they're talking about the Quintesson War and the
Yeah.
Dreadnought War. And I'm intrigued by the Dreadnought War. If only that we're going to do an episode of this drinking grape soda.
Yes. I'm trying to remember if did they mention Dreadnought War in because they definitely mentioned Quintesson War in the this year's Energon special. And I think it says
Well,
it starts.
Human, the Dreadnought War is where Buzzer goes after Cobra Commander.
What,
Because I
where,
think
what was
something
that
in
in?
there. Yeah, I think that was Energon Universe.
Okay, let's see.
Maybe. I don't know. There was Jazz. There's something where he shows up at the end. He's like, I gotta get Cobra
Yes,
Commander or something like that.
and in fact, it is the Energon special, and in fact, he's totally got the Bruce Campbell. The chainsaw is now his
Yeah, he's
hand.
got the. Yeah, I thought that was
That's
both
cool.
silly and fun at the same time.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so Quintesson War starts in Void Rivals 25. Transformers is on, I think the most recent one that came out was 22. And I just read, or was maybe read again, that Daniel Warren Johnson is leaving after 24. So I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything indicating who's taking over.
Oh, Kirkman's taking over.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
I,
yeah, Robert Kirkman stated that he's starting Transformers at 25.
okay, that's cool.
So yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm curious the kind of the tonal shift because yeah, I like Daniel Jordan Watson's Transformers, but it's very gritty. It's very
Yeah.
like, are we going to get rid of all the body slams or
I think you
suplexes?
probably will. Although I could see Kirkman carrying on just like here or there as like a to be fun. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as these books become, as you say, more cohesive, I think I don't really have a problem with any of them except the Joe being a little bit lackluster. But I think if the Joe could really come forward and really, really grab me, I feel like they might be able to recapture that initial, just the momentum at first was so
Hmm.
spectacular. And it's no fault of Transformers or Void Rivals. I really don't feel like either of those books have dipped at all. If anything, they've just gotten better. But I mean, there's a thing where it's no longer new, so it's status quo. But I really did feel like that the Joe title kind of like took a little bit of the air out of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I get it. It was getting kind of stale. Um, like I think maybe we just got too full force into it. Like, oh my God, this is great, 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 and then kind of like
Yeah.
petered a little, and then our interest dipped a little. Because I know there's like, I think there's two or three issues that I skipped and haven't read, and I'm not going to go back and read them yet.
What
Maybe
of
when I buy them in
Transformers?
trade. Yeah, Transformers and GI Joe. I think there's like
Okay.
one or two. Seems to be one or two issues of both because I feel like I read the current one and I was like, oh shit, I didn't read the one brief previous. Oh crap, it's sold out. I can't get it. Oh well, I'll move on.
So they're still selling good then, huh?
Yeah, very well.
Good. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Better than Transformers and GI Joe and book should. Void Rival's still not as strong, but I feel like it's going to pick up as when the Quintesson War start. I think with Robert Kirkman taking over and it gets more crossovery, which I'm sure is what's going to happen, it will feel more. People will go back and start buying those Void Rival books.
Which, it's really interesting because that like excites me, but is this one of those things where like it excites me now, but once I get it, because it's like crossovers initially, it's like with Marvel stuff, it's just like,
Yeah,
can I just read one book and not have to cross over with the rest? So I get annoyed. But in this case, because they haven't done it, I feel like it's just the nature of how Void Rivals has been like there are regular characters that are Transformers characters, so
yeah.
it feels like a sub Transformers book, not meaning worse, but like
Like there's the GI Joe book and there's two Transformer books.
yeah, kind of. I mean, but although Void Rivals, last couple issues, Cobra La has been very involved, so
Yeah,
it, it's I don't know. It's interesting, and that's why no matter what, I'm not going to stop reading the Joe book. It's like I'm just going to
yeah.
read them all, and I'm very curious to see how it goes. I just hope once they start. I think what you say is accurate. Once Kirkman starts writing Transformers, that the two that and Void Rivals will kind of snuggle up together a little bit more. I don't know if that's going to like Yeah, be careful what you wish for. You know, you were excited for it, Sean, and now you're annoyed. I don't know. Hopefully not. I don't see that happening because it's just two books. If they add like Void Rivals War Journal and Transformers War Zone and
Well, I feel
Transformers
like
Force, Uncanny Voids.
there needs to be one more GI Joe book. There's just not
I,
enough. There's too much. GI Joe's too big with, you got your Dreadnoks, you got your Cobra, all interesting characters. You got Destro, you got, you know what I mean? Like when it came out originally, you had the Cobra point of view from Cobra Commander and Destro, and the Joe point of view was Scarlet and Duke. And like it worked. And now it's like everyone's getting like almost 2 pages to tell their story, which is working somewhat, but I feel like I would like to see more expansion on that. Plus, Cobra Law is involved in GI Joe. There's a lot crammed into a little GI Joe book.
agreed. It's a fine line, man, because I
Yeah,
agree with you in theory, but I also don't know that adding another book would not make me less interested at this point. Like I feel
or at
like
least
if
like a mini
they
series here and there.
okay, so that
Yeah,
I could see that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how this
yeah.
goes.
Oh, I finished mine a while ago.
Ah, all right, that's
Sour.
woo that's drinking with man. That was sour. That's drinking with comics. This is Tartknocker from Toxic Brew. If you're in Dayton, look them up. Uh, I'm Sean,
I'm like
and we'll be back to talk about, I don't know,
something with a
the
beer.
return of Murphy Brown.
Oh, did that come back?
I don't know. Hi, I'm Sean. Join me and my friends every week for the Horror Vision, where we talk about horror movies.